going to start on our backs. So lower down onto your back. Start with your feet about mat distance apart. Allowing your shoulder blades to rest flat on the floor. And bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest, right about the heart area. And just taking a moment to allow yourself to shift into the here and now, feeling your body, and recognizing at first the body and its perimeter and where it connects to the ground beneath you, to the air that surrounds you. Noticing that distinct barrier between self and maybe not so distinct barrier between self and that which lies with beyond you. And you start to notice the hardness of the earth, the temperature of the air. And allow yourself to move a little deeper, feeling where your hands connect to your belly and your chest, and feeling where your self connects to self. And that space, that subtle space between yourself and yourself. Notice what you feel. Going a layer deeper, start to notice the body itself. Feeling first those places that automatically draw your awareness, whether it be because of movement, or whether it be because of tension or ache. And start to notice those places that are not so in our mind space. Places that we rarely think about. Shifting awareness to breath. First, feel the breath as it moves beneath your hands. Noticing where you feel, which hand you feel the breath in more predominantly. And see if you can create a sense of balance. So can you feel the breath move as much in the chest as you do in the belly? Can you feel the breath move as much beneath your hand on your belly as you do in your chest? And you feel the breath as it comes in and out through your nostrils. And you follow the breath all the way down into your torso. All the way out as it leaves. Just noticing as you start to bring your mind more inward, how this has an effect on your body, the physical aspects of ourselves, on our breath, and on our mind. Allowing this time to create connection, create a sense of balance. That part of yoga that brings us inward so we can step away from the chaos that exists when we step outside of ourselves. And bring the hands beside your hips. Separate your feet so that your feet are now just hip distance apart and your knees are open, stacked above your heels. As you exhale, push your tailbone, or as you inhale, push your tailbone towards the floor and allow the lower back to come off the floor, so anteriorly tilting the pelvis. And as you exhale, think of drawing your navel towards your spine and tilting your tailbone up towards the sky, pushing your spine towards the floor. So posterior tilt of the pelvis. And start to rock between this anterior tilt, tailbone pressing down, hip points moving towards the thighs. And the exhale, navel drawing down towards the spine, tailbone pointing up towards the sky. So just continue to move with your own pace of your breath. Feeling this alternate movement between flexion of the spine and extension of the spine. Can you isolate this movement so that the only thing that's moving is the pelvis and the lumbar spine? So the ribs barely come off the floor as you take the tailbone towards the floor, and they barely sink as you take the tailbone up. And then start to minimize this movement, becoming a little less each time, until you find that sense of balance of where the pelvis feels like it's in neutral, the spine feels stable, coming to a place of stillness. As you exhale, draw your navel towards your spine and imagine you could scoop the navel up towards your ribs. And keep that awareness of tone in the lower belly and lift your knees above your hips, shins parallel to the floor. And bring your hands to rest below your knees on your thighs. Start to press your hands towards your thighs and your knees towards your hands. Notice if the lower back is pushing towards the floor and see if you can, again, maintain that neutral spine with the spine just barely off the floor. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Keep your left hand and knee together, and as you inhale, tap your right foot to the ground and reach your right arm beside your ear. And as you exhale, draw back to center. Inhale, tap left toes to the ground, reach left hand beside, or left arm beside the ear, and bring it back. And just continue to move between right and left side, keeping that awareness of whichever hand and knee are still connected, of this pushing in. Trying to create as little movement in the pelvis and in the torso as you can. Keeping the throat relaxed, the jaw and tongue relaxed. Notice if you feel the ribs flaring as you reach one arm and leg. And see if you can resist that. One more time each side. Release. Take the feet mat distance apart. Bring the arms wide, T to the body, and windshield wiper your knees side to side. So a little core awareness right at the beginning. As we reach towards balance, finding that core stability helps to establish balance. Take your block, place it between your knees. Shins parallel to the floor, knees above the hips, hands down beside your knees, so to the outside of your knees, pulling your fingers towards your forearms and reaching your heels towards your toes. Inhale here. As you exhale, take your head towards your knees and your knees towards your head. Push your hands towards your feet. So curl into a little ball. Inhale, reach feet towards the floor, head towards the floor. Exhale, crunch up. Inhale, extend. And continue to do this. We did the last one for about a minute. We got about a minute of this. Keep squeezing the block between the thighs. Noticing how that helps create the sense of the core all the way down to the inner thighs. And the next time you curl up, hold. Bring the knees closer to the head. Bring the head closer to the knees. Squeeze the block. Push the hands towards the feet. Exhale, lift a little higher. Inhale, release. Release the block from between your knees. Knees mat distance wide. Feet, T to the body. And again, windshield wiper, knees side to side. Bring the hands behind the knees, roll up to a seated position. If you want to take a couple of rolls to get there, by all means, take your time. And then rock to hands and knees, so tabletop. Knees hip distance apart and below the hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Press down through your hands, press down through the fronts of your feet. And inhale, lift your head, lift your tailbone. As you exhale, round through your spine, so cat pose. You're going to move back and forth between cow and cat, but start to bring awareness to your lower belly. So we did the pelvic tilt at the beginning as we were lying on their backs. Can you find that same sense of awareness of using the breath to scoop your lower belly to round into your spine? And that same support of your pelvis with your core as you move into cow pose. Next time you come into cat, stay in cat. We're going to stay here for several breaths. Continue to push through the fronts of your feet, your hands, and really move into the awareness of your core. Exhaling, scooping your navel towards the spine and up towards your ribs. Noticing how much that awareness of creating that scooping creates the roundness of your spine and the support of your spine. Inhale, come back into tabletop. Tuck your toes under, press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Press hands into the floor. Isometrically twist your thumbs towards the pinky side of your hand or towards your first finger. Inhale, lift up onto your toes. Bend your knees to hover above the floor. Press your hips back. Hold here, knees hovering over the floor. Keep pushing hands down and forward. Scoop your lower belly off your thighs. So make sure your ribs don't touch your thighs, your lower belly doesn't touch your thighs, your hip points don't touch your thighs. And then inhale, straighten the legs, come back to downward facing dog. Step your feet together. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. As you exhale, shift shoulders above the wrist, round through your spine and take your knee to your nose. Inhale, push back, three-legged dog. Exhale, round through your spine as you shift forward, knee to nose. Inhale, reach back, three-legged dog. One more time, scoop your lower belly, round forward, knee to nose, shoulders above your wrist. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. And drop your left knee to the ground. Point the toes back. Bring your palms to the ground. Right foot is outside of your right hand. Press through the inner edge of your foot. So find the ball mount of your big toe. And imagine you could pull it back towards your right inner heel. Notice how that starts to bring your knee towards your right shoulder. Start to push the knee into the right shoulder. As you resist the shoulder into the knee, sink a little deeper. Lift your head, lift your chest. Keep knee and shoulder connected. As you exhale, take your chin towards your chest and round your spine. Inhale, lift your head, lift your chest. So cat-cow, but keeping knee and shoulder connected as you push back into that rounding of the spine. One more time, lift head, lift chest. Exhale, round, chin towards chest. Keep pushing knee. Tuck the back toe under. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Drop your knees to the floor. Keep your toes tucked under. Hover your knees off the floor. So knees hover off the floor about an inch. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round through your spine. Inhale, cow pose. Knees still hover. Exhale, round through your spine. Inhale. Exhale, round, push back, down dog. Reach the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Lift up onto your right toes, round through your spine, shoulders above your wrist, knee to nose. Inhale, take it back. Keep going, exhale, round. Think of it being cat pose as you try to touch your knee to your nose. One more time, round. Take your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Drop your right knee to the ground. Bring your palms to the floor. Start to squeeze your knee in towards your left shoulder. Look down at your foot, find the ball mount of your big toe, press down, and then drag isometrically big toe mount towards left inner heel. Feel the awareness of the inner thighs. Inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, keep pressing to the inner edge. Knee to shoulder, exhale, round through your spine. 3 times. So hips are barely moving. More of it's in the spine, so that connection of keeping the core. Inhale, lift up. Tuck the back toes under and step back, downward facing dog. Come down to hands and knees. Knees slightly wider than hips. Press your hips back towards your heels, forehead towards the floor, so child's pose, and rest your hands beside your thighs. Fingers reaching towards your feet. And slow down your breath here. And in this position, feeling the breath move into the back and side ribs. Noticing the belly inflate towards the thighs or between the thighs with each inhalation. And start to imagine that you could lift your belly and your ribs and your hip points off your thighs as you exhale. So exhale, lift belly, hip points, ribs. Inhale, release. One more time, lift belly, hip points, ribs. Inhale, release. Reach the hands forward, spread the fingers. Inhale, come up to hands and knees. Bring the knees together. Reach your right leg back. Knee, toe, and hip square towards the floor. Push the hands into the floor. Pull your lower belly as you just did, as if you're trying to pull it off your thighs, hip points away from your thighs, ribs down and in. Inhale, reach through heel and the crown of your head. As you exhale, push hand and left foot into the floor. Bring knee to nose. Inhale, reach the right leg back. And as you exhale, look forward. Reach your elbows towards your hips as you reach the chest towards the front of your mat. So like a chaturanga. Inhale, up. Exhale, like cat, knee to nose. Inhale, reach right leg back. Exhale, bend elbows as if you were going to touch the hip points and the chest touches the floor. Inhale, up. Exhale, around. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbows reach back towards your hips. Chest tries to touch the floor at the front of your mat. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. Sit back. Rotate the wrists. Time for the other side. So hands and knees. Knees together, shoulders above your wrist. Reach your left leg back, three-legged dog. Point the hip points towards the floor and peel them towards your ribs. Draw your lower ribs down and in as you take the navel towards the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, push hands and right foot down as you draw your knee to your nose around your spine. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, elbows reach towards hips, chest towards floor. Inhale, up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. Exhale, reach elbows back, chest towards floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Last time, elbows back, chest forward. Inhale, up. Release left knee to the ground. Sit back. Rotate your wrists. Nice little warm up. Hope you're finding that connection to core and the rounding of the spine, because what we're doing today is more of that, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up onto your toes, gaze between your thumbs. Bend your knees and step to the front of your mat into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, scoop your lower belly to fold into flexion. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, arms over your head, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Surya Namaskar B. We'll do a little variation of B. So big toes touch, outer edges of your feet parallel. Sit your hips back, reach your fingertips behind your heels, coming into Bakasana chair pose, and reach your arms beside your ears. And reach the hips back towards the back of your mat. Start to peel your hip points off your thighs, scooping lower belly in, ribs reaching towards your hip points. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, first time, step to the back of the mat, plank pose. Lower your knees to the floor, toes point back, elbows reach towards the hips, lower the hips, the belly, the chest. Point the feet back. Peel your lower belly off the floor, ribs towards hips, hips towards ribs, elbows reach back. Inhale, press up, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press up, cobra. Release the chest to the floor. One more time, inhale, press up, cobra. Scoop lower belly up and in. Elbows reach back, chest lifts high, tuck the toes under. Exhale, scoop your lower belly to press back to downward facing dog. Left heel drops down and in. Step your right foot up between your hands. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Virabhadrasana 1. Release the hands on either side of your right foot. Step back to plank. Bring your right knee to your right elbow. Step it back. Left knee, left elbow. Step it back. Either lower knees, chest, chin, or lower all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, press up, cobra. Tone the lower belly, lift the chest. Exhale, scoop the lower belly to lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right heel down and in. Step your left foot up between your hands, lift up. Virabhadrasana 1. Lower the hands on either side of your left foot. Step to the back of your mat, plank pose. Left knee, left elbow. Step it back. Right knee, right elbow. Step it back. Either knees, chest, chin, or lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, press up, cobra. Tone the lower belly. Tuck the toes under, exhale, press back. Downward facing dog, and breathe. Each time we come to downward facing dog, taking the time to notice the breath. Does it still feel balanced? Or are you starting to feel that chaos, that heat, the tapas? Inhale, come up onto your toes, gaze between your thumbs. Bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Bend the knees, sit back. Bakasana. Hands beside your hips as you lift up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Round 2. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Uttanasana. Pause here. Bring your hands behind your head, clasp your hands. Start to press the back of your head into your hands as you lift the chest. And then draw your lower belly off your thighs to keep the support of the lower belly as you find that extension in your spine. Exhale, round your spine, take your elbows forward. Inhale, extend your spine, lift your head and chest, open your elbows. 2 more, exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop to the back of the mat. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, lift to up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, down dog. Lower the left heel down and in. Step your right foot up between your hands. Lift up, Virabhadrasana 1. Bring the palms to touch. Start to draw your pubic bone towards your navel. Lift your hip points towards your ribs. Keep your ribs drawing down and in. Gaze up with your eyes. Then arch back. Look up towards your thumbs. Exhale, fold. Hands on either side of your right foot. Step back. Either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, down dog. Right heel down and in. Step your left foot up between your hands. Lift up. Virabhadrasana 1. Left knee above your left ankle joint. Hips squared towards the front of your mat. Lift your pubic bone towards your navel. Ribs down and in. Gaze up towards the sky. Arch back. Gaze towards your thumbs. Exhale, fold. Hands on either side of the left foot. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. As we move a little faster, create more of that sense of unevenness. Always finding those opportunities to find stillness so that we can find our own inner balance, our own regulation. Inhale, lift up onto your toes, gaze between your thumbs. Bend your knees, step or hop, front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Bakasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands beside your hips. Pause, close your eyes. Breathe. Bring your hands to your hips. Open your eyes. Shift your weight onto your right foot and bend your left knee forward. Slight bend of your right knee. Cross. Left knee over right knee. Press the outer edge of your left foot into your calf. So instead of taking the foot behind the calf, use your muscles to press the foot into the calf. Squeeze your inner thigh muscles together. Arms reach wide. Right arm comes underneath left. Bring the fingertips into the palm of the hand. Elbows lift, shoulder height, and reach forward. Inhale. As you exhale, as if you were rolling up over a beach ball. Lean forward, taking your elbows toward your knees. Inhale, come back up. 2 more times. Exhale, round up and over. Keep pushing foot into calf. Inhale, lift. Last time, crunch. Stay low. Bring your left knee towards your elbow, so uncross, and then step to the back of your mat. Unbind your arms and bring them over your head. So feet are about 3 feet apart, and heels are in line with your sit bones, so the feet are about hip distance apart. Square your hips. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, fold forward halfway. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold halfway. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold halfway. Hold. Start to find strength in your legs by pressing through your feet. And imagining that you could touch your inner thighs together. So almost like a pair of scissors cutting towards each other. Peel your hip point away from your thigh as you reach your chest forward. Inhale, lift up. Arms over your head. Exhale, fold, hands to the floor, on either side of your right foot. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Dropping your forehead towards the shin. Keep pressing down through all points of your feet. And keep your hips. Notice if they shift to one side or the other and try to keep them in neutral. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bend the right knee. Hands on either side of your right foot. Step to the back of your mat into plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, scoot forward and up to up dog. Exhale, press hips up and back, down dog. Lift up onto your toes, gaze between your thumbs. Bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, arms over your head, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bring your hands to your hips. Shift the weight into your left foot. Bend the right knee forward. Slight bend of your left knee. Cross your right leg over your left. And instead of taking the foot behind the calf, press the outer edge of your foot into the calf. Sink deeper. Squeeze your inner thighs together as you press your knees out. Arms wide. Left arm comes under right, fingertips to the palm of the hand. Elbows lift shoulder height and pull forward. Exhale, round up and over. Taking your knees to touch, or your elbows to touch your knees. Inhale, lift. Keep pressing foot. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Keep squeezing thighs. Exhale, round. Lift up slightly. Take your knee, right knee to touch your elbows as you uncross. Then step the foot to the back of the mat. Arms come over your head. Hips square forward, hands to the hips. Pull the hips down. Square the hips straight to the front edge of your mat. Inhale, lift head and chest. Exhale, hinge from your left hip crease as you fold halfway forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge, fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge, fold. Hold. Press your feet down. Scissor your inner thighs together, noticing as you do that, your left thigh presses back as your inner thigh rounds forward, as if you could touch your thighs together. Pull your belly up your thighs. Reach to the crown of your head. Inhale, lift all the way up, arms over your head. Exhale, fold. Bring hands on either side of your left foot. Lift up halfway. Firm your legs, pressing your feet into the floor, square your hips. Exhale, hinge. Head releases towards chin. Keep the legs strong, so firm the front of your thighs. Feet press down, thighs squeeze in. Gaze towards your left toes. Hands to the floor. Step to the back of your mat, down dog. Option to move through vinyasa. Inhale, look at your thumbs. Walk your thumbs to where your thumbs touch. Come up onto your toes. Bend your knees, jump your feet outside of your hands. So Bakasana. So low squat. Hands to your chest. Prayer. Then reach the hands out in front of you. As you exhale, roll back. As you inhale, roll forward, touch your heels to the ground. Exhale, roll back. Roll forward, touch your heels to the ground. Roll back. This time, roll up to Bakasana. Shins parallel to the floor. Lift your chest. Scoop your lower belly towards your spine and up towards your ribs. Maybe straighten the legs. Grab behind your knees, roll back, maybe roll up to Bakasana, and forward fold. Grab your opposite elbow and hang. Each exhalation, scooping your lower belly towards your spine. Release hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, arms over your head, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shift the weight onto your right foot. Bend the left knee forward as you bend the right knee. Exhale, transition into eagle pose. Again, pressing the foot into the outer shin, squeeze the thighs, round forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lift. Keep squeezing knees, keep pressing foot, crunch. Stay low, uncross your knee, knee to elbow. Lift, reach back, Virabhadrasana 3. Pause, find balance. Step your left foot to the back of your mat, arms come over your head and out to the side, to the bottom. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold halfway. Keep the arms out, T to the body, so we add a little weight. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward, halfway. Inhale, up. One more time, halfway fold, hold. Reach the hips back, chest forward, arms wide. Exhale, hands plant. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. 2 deep breaths. Find the stability in the legs. Find the stability in your inner thighs. Find the balance in your breath. The length in your spine. Inhale, lift forward, look towards the front of your mat. Walk your hands forward. Bend your right knee. Come up onto your left toes. As you inhale, straighten your right leg as you lift your left leg as high as you can up behind you, standing split. Bend the right knee, left foot to the back of the mat, step to the back of the mat, plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, down dog. Inhale, come up onto your toes, gaze between your thumbs. Bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge fold. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, arms over your head, gaze up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Then bring hands to the hips. Balance on your left foot. Bend right knee forward. Bend left knee, cross. Foot to calf, thigh squeeze, arms wide, left arm under right. Inhale. Exhale, scoop your lower belly as you round and crunch, elbow to knee. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Stay low. Bring your knee and your elbow together as you lift knee off of knee. And then straighten right leg back as you straighten left leg. Hold under your Bakasana 3. So balance. Bend the knees, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, arms over your head, straighten the legs, square the hips. Arms out to the side to the body. Inhale. Exhale, fold halfway. So with the arms extended out to the side, it's a little bit more weight, lift up. We're asking the core to work a little harder, the legs, the hips, to find a little bit more strength. Lift up so that we can maintain that strength, that balance. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, fold all the way down. Bakasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Notice if the strength is still in the legs, the feet. Inner thighs reach towards each other. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bend the left knee, bring your hands out towards the front edge of your mat. As you inhale, straighten the left leg as you reach the right leg up towards the sky, standing split. Bend the left knee, step the right foot back, either downward facing dog or through vinyasa. Inhale, come up onto your toes, walk your thumbs together. Bend the knees, step or hop your feet to the outside of your hands, coming back into Bakasana. All right, we're working towards this. So, hands come to the floor, shoulder width apart. First fingers parallel, you can even take them out slightly wider. Separate your fingers as much as you can. And then lift or press the fingertips down. Lift the second knuckle as you press the main knuckle into the floor. So almost as if you're like gripping a ball. Try to grip the floor with your knuckles and the tips as your middle knuckles lift. Shift forward and hop your heels together. Okay. So knuckles down, fingertips down, fingers spread. Keep your heels together and lift your hips as you take your knees to the outside of your shoulders. Elbows bend to where they're right at the middle of your shins. Look forward as if you're looking towards me, maybe. It depends on where you are in your room. And look forward. Start to shift forward, allowing all the weight to come onto your elbows. And maybe lift one heel. And maybe lift both heels. Feet still squeezed together. So Bakasana crow pose. Balance and breathe. When you're done, come into a forward fold. Grab your opposite elbow, hang, give your wrist a break. And then feet set, toes out, heels in. Come back to Bakasana. Reach your arms forward. As you exhale, roll back. And take a couple of rolls on your spine. And then the next time, roll up into Navasana. shins parallel. Release, maybe legs straight. All right, so we just did Bakasana. And if you did Bakasana and you want to try something fun, this time, when you roll up to Malasana, you can take it straight into Bakasana. So exhale, roll back. Malasana, Bakasana. Hold. And then if you want to hop it back into a vinyasa, go for it. Nice, Emily. Once you come into downward facing dog, slow down the breath. Again. Bend your knees to the floor. Separate your knees wider than hip distance apart. Sit back into child's pose. Slow down the breath. So we worked throughout all of this to use our core as that center of gravity to create balance in order to balance in many different ways, whether that be standing on one foot, whether that be in our upper body staying balanced parallel to the floor, or whether that be in an arm balance. And coming into contact and connection with our inner core strength creates that balance. But now we're done with all the strength part. So try to find balance in the steadiness of your breath. Letting go of any control of the inhalation and exhalation. Noticing the natural rhythm, the natural flow of your breath. It's our internal metronome. Come up onto fingertips. Walk your arms over to the right, bring your knees together. Lift your belly over your right thigh, and then release your forehead back to the floor, so a little side stretch. If you want to stack your left hand on top of your right. So coming slightly out of balance in our body in order to create more balance. Stretching one side at a time. And separate the hands. Lift up on the fingertips, gaze between your hands. Walk your hands all the way to the left. Reach your belly out over your left thigh. And then release your forehead towards the floor. Stacking right hand on top of left. And noticing if there's a difference between right side and left. Unstack the hands, come back to center. Shift forward, cross your ankles, and come down onto your back. Your knees still bent, feet hip distance apart. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Use your right hand to press your knee slightly open. And reach between your thighs with your right hand, outside with your left hand, and grab either in front of your left shin or behind your left knee. Nice deep breaths. Keep your right ankle where it is. Drop your left foot to the ground. Take your arms out, T to the body. Press your left foot into the ground and shift your hips slightly to the right. And then drop your left thigh to the floor. Your right foot will come to the floor, but the knee will point up towards the sky. Take your left hand across and press your knee away from you. Right head drops towards the floor. Release your hand from your inner right thigh, come back to center. Uncross your legs, center your hips. Left ankle crosses over right knee. Left hand to your inner left thigh, press the thigh away. Bend your knee towards your chest. Left hand comes between your thighs, right hand to the outside, either grabbing in front of your shin or behind your thigh. Using these hip openers, we can oftentimes find kind of imbalances in our hips side to side. One side always seems a little less mobile than the other side. So just making a note of these things. Release the shin, bring the right foot back to the floor. Keep the left ankle crossed over. Arms wide, T to the body. Press the right foot down, shift the hips slightly to the left. Allow the right thigh, outer thigh to drop to the floor, left foot to the floor. Use your right hand to push your left inner thigh and knee away from you. Release. Come back to center. Center the hips. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Shift a little side to side. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift your head towards your knees. So one last kind of awareness of that core. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale this time, completely let go. Allow the legs to extend long, arms down beside the body. If you would prefer Supta Bakasana, you can bring the soles of your feet to touch and allow the knees to open. You get a lot of kind of adduction, inner thigh strength throughout the practice. So allowing now the adductors to release, and that Supta Bakasana might feel really nice. Once again, acknowledge where your body connects to what is outside of your body, what is outside of self. That subtle barrier between self and universe. Moving deeper, feeling the muscles of the body post-practice. Moving deeper, even still, feeling the subtle rise and fall of your breath. That inner metronome, that inner rhythm of balance, calm within the chaos. And start to deepen your breath. Inviting movement back into your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. As you inhale, reach your arms over your head, extend your legs and reach through your heels or toes, finding inner body length. As you exhale, bend your knees and roll onto your side body. And take a moment to observe, noticing any shifts and changes in body, breath, mind. Hopefully when you're completing a practice that's focused all on balance, you feel a little bit more focused and balanced. And using your hands and your arms, slowly press yourself up to seated position. Bring your hands to connect at heart center, feeling as your hands connect yourself, meet self. As you inhale, lift your heart towards your hands. As you exhale, bow into the space of your heart, acknowledging that which lies deep within, the true self. And thank you so much. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste.